This conference will now be recorded.
So presently we are trying to understand Angular 6 basics. So first we are trying to answer some basic questions, and also in the same session we will see the steps to prepare first application in Angular 6. That means how to install the software, how to create the program, how to execute the program. Okay, that basics also I'm going to teach from the scratch. So first, what is Angular? Earlier session already I told you what is Angular, right? So try to recollect. Angular is a client-side framework to create web applications. Okay, it is a client-side framework. It is not a server-side framework. It executes only on the client. That means on the browser. So what are the variables, properties, methods we have created in the Angular will be stored only in the client side, will be executed only on the client side. And output also will be shown in the client itself. Here client means browser. And Angular is developed by Google. And Angular is open source. That means the source code of the Angular is available online for free. Anybody can download the actual source code of the Angular and can understand how it works really. Angular is free to use. That means while at the practice time as well as real-time usage also, it is free. I mean, for the companies also, it is free. The development centers need not pay any money to the Google in order to use Angular. Angular is cross-platform. That means it works in all the operating systems. Even on mobile operating systems and PC operating systems also, Angular works fine. Next, Angular is cross-browser compatible. That means Angular works in all the browsers except IE 678. So actually this IE is a completely outdated browser. Even Microsoft also not preferring IE. Even this IE 678 is particularly already outdated. Okay, nobody uses it. Okay, so but officially we are saying that Angular is not supported on IE 678, but IE 9 onwards Angular is supported. Angular application works on IE 9, 10 or 11. This IE 678 is released 15 years back around. Okay, so nobody uses it right now, so it's not a problem. In other browsers, Chrome, Firefox, or Edge browser, in other browsers, it works fine without any issues. Angular mainly supports components. The main point of the Angular is components. For example, in Java, what you can create, classes you can create, right? So just like that, Angular main concept is components. All remaining topics also will be related to components only. What is component? A component is a class. What is component? Okay, component is a class that contains properties and methods. Properties means here what data what you can say, input data plus output data. Okay, input data, output data is nothing but property. Method is for processing. For example, a simple example I will give. Suppose I'm asking that just I'm giving two numbers. Okay, you have to tell me the numbers. Okay, so I'm giving the first number 10. Listen carefully. I'm giving the first number 10. I'm giving the second number 20. Okay, that is called input data. Next, tell me the first number in chat panel.
10.
Yeah, 10 is the first number. So that is output data. You are giving me, right? That is output data. Okay. And tell me the second number.
20.
20. So 20 is the output data. What the input data that I have given to you, that is input data. What is the data you are giving to me? That is output data. Okay. Next, in the middle, some processing also may be done sometimes. For example, I'm asking you, add the numbers and tell me the output. Add the numbers 10 and 20.
The output is 30.
Yeah, 30. So addition process is nothing but method. Plus you answered, right? 30. 30 is nothing but output data again. Okay. So in this example, totally we have two input values that I have given to you. Plus you have given me three values, remember, three values. First you answered 10, next you answered 20, next you answered 30. Okay, three values. Three values is nothing but output data. Two input data, three output data. Plus in the middle, processing also done. Processing means addition process. So any kind of input data or output data is called as property here. Any kind of calculations or processing, any kind of condition checking is called as methods. Okay.
I have doubt here. Can I ask? Yeah, 10 and 20 are input, how they are considered as output data?
No, we are two things. We are accepting some data from user. That is input data. Sometimes we are providing the data to the user. That is output data. Okay.
Okay.
Did not understand. Say for
No.
example, login
Yeah.
example. Username, password we are accepting as input. Okay, that is input. Then we are checking, right? Username,
Yeah.
password. That is a process. That is a
Yeah.
method we have to. After checking, we find out the result, success or failure. That we have to display to user. We are displaying to user is nothing but output.
Okay.
So how many input here? Two input values.
Two
Username,
input.
password.
Yeah.
How many values? Anyone
Output
may
is
say.
yeah. Output is one. Your data is successfully.
Yes, either success or failure. Any one message.
Eh, Okay.
Plus nothing but processing. I mean, checking the password.
Yeah, then I got it. This is processing. We are giving input and it display output. Yeah.
Okay, how to create the class? So class is nothing but class name. Just like do you know Java or any other programming language? There also we have class name, right? Same like that. Class name. See, basically component is a class. Remember, component is a class. To create the properties, we have to give property name here, data type, method. Okay, this is just a syntax. Example I will show later in the practically. So just I'm providing the syntax right now. Class name, the component class look like this. We have to give property method. So the main Angular coding will be based on the components as I have explained here. Okay, example I will show in the further moments. Okay, now let's try to go for the next topic, that is steps to prepare first application in Angular. So that I will show this same example of login form practically. Okay, so first we have to install Node.js. Next we have to install Visual Studio Code. Next we have to give install Angular CLI. Okay, next okay, we have to create a new application. Then we have to edit some code. Whatever the code you require, you have to edit it. Then we have to compile and run. Okay, these are the 6 steps that we have to follow to prepare first application in Angular. So assuming your system has nothing related to Angular, okay, your system is a normal system, it has nothing related to Angular. So on a fresh system, if you want to practice Angular, okay, we have to follow these 6 steps. So let's try to understand all these things. First one, Node.js. We have to install Node.js. So here a doubt. What is this Node.js and why we require to Node.js in Angular? We are trying to learn which one Angular. Our course is Angular. Then why we require Angular? So, why we require Node.js? Okay, this is the question we have. So it's simple. Angular framework is available as packages. Angular framework is available as packages. To download Angular framework packages, we require to install Node.js. See, Angular framework itself is available as a packages. See, if you take some old packages, what you can say, for example, some Spring framework you can take, or otherwise ASP.NET framework you can take. So this framework, it's like a setup file. We have to download and install the particular setup file. So that means the complete framework is installed on your machine. But for Angular, there is no any setup file. There is no any setup file for Angular. The Angular framework is divided into small packages, like a small pieces. To download these particular packages into your machine, you require to install Node.js software. Actually, Node.js is a server-side platform. To create the server-side programs, we require Node.js. But we are not writing any code in Node.js in our codes. Only the reason why we are going to install Node.js is just to download Angular framework packages. Okay, nothing more than that. So let me show this practically how to install Node.js. Before that, let me do one thing. Let me uninstall Node.js in my system, because in my system already Node.js installed earlier. Okay, Node.js installed earlier. We have to uninstall it. But in your system, you need not uninstall, because Node.js not already installed in your system, right? So you need not uninstall it actually. In my system, as I have installed Node.js already, I'm just uninstalling just for the demonstration. Okay, ignore this step in your system. Okay, just wait for 1 minute to uninstall. Okay, 1 minute. It is going to just uninstall. Okay, just 1 minute. Okay, it is going to uninstall. Okay, that's all. So now the Node.js uninstallation completed. But anyway, in your system, you can ignore this step because in your system, Node.js already not installed, right? Okay, ignore this step. So in our system directly, we have to go to nodejs.org website. Go to nodejs.org website. Okay, this website, you can check the address, nodejs.org website. So in this website, okay, website is nodejs.org. Okay, from this website, we have to download. So once we have opened nodejs.org, here it is showing 10.8.0 current. So just click on that. Then you will get a file called node some version number 10.8.0 x64. Okay, whichever the current version is there, that we have to click. In future, version number may be changed in future. Okay, whichever is it is current, we have to click it. So now we have successfully downloaded the node 10.8.0 x64, and we have to click on that MSA file to install. Okay, once we click, installation is started. Click on next button. Then select the checkbox I accept the terms. Click on next and keep the same path as it is. Click on next and no need to change anything. So just click on next kind of thing. Okay, so within just 1 or 2 minutes, the Node.js installation will be completed. Okay, let it be completed. Next one, we have to install the Visual Studio Code. So what is Visual Studio Code here? Visual Studio Code is a code editor that we are going to use for Angular. It is a code editor for Angular, means where you will write the programs is by using Visual Studio Code. To write the program, some code editor is required. Such a code editor is Visual Studio Code. In case if you don't want to use the Visual Studio Code, we can also go for other options like Sublime Text we can use, WebStorm, Atom. But the problem is these are commercial. That means we have to pay money. It works for 1 month. After 1 month, it will not work. Okay, but Visual Studio Code is for free. Even for practice time, real time also it is free and easier than others. Visual Studio Code is easy, more popular, okay, more customizable, more flexible than Sublime Text and WebStorm and Atom. So that's why we prefer Visual Studio Code, because others will work only for 1 month. So how to install Visual Studio Code I'm trying to show. Okay, meanwhile, okay, Node.js installation is also going on, just leave it. We have to just go to Visual Studio Code. So there is a website code.visualstudio.com. Website name code.visualstudio.com. Okay, Node.js installation completed meanwhile. Finish. Okay, so website name is code.visualstudio.com. Click on download for Windows. Then you got a file like VS Code setup. Okay, just click on save button. Now double click on the file to run. Okay, now click on next button. Check the ready button. I accept the terms in the license agreement. Click on next, click on next, click on next. We have nothing to change there. Directly we can click on next button, install. Okay, it will take around 1 or 2 minutes to install. Okay, let it be installing. Let it take its own time. Next, third one, install Angular CLI. Let's understand what is CLI. CLI means command line interface. Why we require CLI? So in order to create the application, compile the application, execute the application, test the application, some predefined commands are required, right? Those commands are provided by CLI. In order to create the application, CLI provides essential commands to create the application, compile the application, run the application, test the application, build the application. So in order to perform A to Z activities on Angular application, some predefined commands are required that can be executed in the command prompt window. So those commands are provided by Angular CLI. So first we have to install Angular CLI. How to install Angular CLI? We have to open the command prompt window. In the command prompt window, we have to provide the command npm install angular @angular/cli-g. That means npm means Node.js package manager. Node.js package manager is a built-in tool available in Node.js. Already we have installed Node.js, right? So as a part of that, npm is available, Node.js package manager, which is used to download the packages. So npm install, we are going to install a new package. What is the package we are going to install? Angular CLI. Because for Angular CLI, there is no setup file. We have to install only through npm install command. There is no setup file for Angular CLI. There is setup file for Node.js. There is setup file for Visual Studio Code, but not for Angular CLI. The one and only way to install Angular CLI like this. Hey npm, please install a package called Angular/CLI package for me. And -g means globally. Globally means available to all the folders in the entire system. That means we can use the Angular CLI in any folder, in any drive, any folder. So that's why we have to give -g. Okay. Meanwhile, this Visual Studio Code installation completed. Next, we have to give open the command prompt window. In order to open the command prompt window, actual way is a start Windows System command prompt. But every day we have to open this command prompt window while practicing Angular. That's why right click and we can say pin to taskbar. Here actually pin option will come, pin to taskbar. So if you click on pin to taskbar, what happens is that it will be pinned here. So easily you can click here. Instead of going to start every day, we can directly click here. So open the command prompt window, then we have to give the command of npm install. Hey npm Node.js package manager install a package. What is the package for me? Angular/CLI. Globally. Globally means what? In any folder, I should be able to use Angular CLI, not only in the current working folder. So it will take around 1 or 2 minutes to install this. Okay, so it has installed Angular CLI. Now we are ready to create actual application. Actually, what are the steps I told so far? Okay, these 3 steps should be done only one time. Understand? First 3 steps we have to do only one time for one system. For every example, what we have to repeat, only these 3 will repeat. Understanding? For first application, only one time these 3. For each application every day, we have to repeat only these 3. Okay. So how to create the new application using Angular framework? So we cannot create the application from the scratch. That means we cannot write our own files ourselves. We have to just ask Angular CLI, hey Angular CLI, please create an application for me. Because Angular CLI already we have installed in our system, right? So we have to ask it. Angular CLI is like a robo for you. It's like your friend. So actually to create Angular application, lot of files are required, tens of files required. If you want to create all those files manually, it's too hard and nobody wants to do that really. So that's why we are taking the support of Angular CLI. Hey Angular CLI, please create application files for me. So then it will create the application. Not only creation, after creation of the application also, you want to compile it, running, testing, okay, building. Building means creating the build files that can be uploaded to production server. So all these activities can be done by Angular CLI only. I will tell that later. So right now, to create the new application, first we have to decide a folder. So okay, already we have a folder, right? C colon demo. Otherwise, let me create a new folder just to avoid the confusion. I am creating a new folder. Okay, forget about the old files and the old system. So new folder I am going to create. Okay, practice. Okay, just any name you can provide, any name of your choice. C colon practice. Okay, C colon practice folder we have created. Are you able to understand how to create the folder? Right click new folder. We have to create the folder like this. C colon practice. Okay, in C colon practice, I'm going to create a new application. First, we have to locate this folder in the command prompt window. In the command prompt window, what is the location we have? C colon users harsha, right? But this folder is required there. That's why we are going to give cd C colon practice. Now this folder name matching. Same folder, right? Now in this folder, we are going to create a new application. ng new. ng means hey Angular. Remember, whenever we are writing ng in the command prompt window, that is definitely related to Angular CLI. For example, in future, we will give the commands like ng serve, ng build, ng test. All these commands are definitely related to Angular CLI. ng for Angular CLI here in the command prompt window. So ng, hey Angular CLI, new means we are going to create a new application. But it is asking what is the application name you want to create. Okay, app1. In place of app1, we can give any other application name. So it will create a folder called app1 in C colon practice. Okay, C colon practice folder we have created, right? But inside the C colon practice, app1 folder will be automatically created. See, it has created a lot of files nowadays. When we have given ng new app1, actually it has created a new folder in the C colon practice. You can clearly see, which contains a lot of files like this. You can see the folder structure here. So in the C colon app1, you can see these folders, and you can see src. In the src, a lot of files. All these files, each and every file is required in order to run our Angular application. Okay, so this is the developer source code, and don't think like all these files will be uploaded to production server. Only few files, maybe 4 or 5 files will be uploaded to server, but which includes all the code that is needed to run. I mean, developer code is different, production code is different. Developer code has a lot of files, but you're compiling all these files. After compilation, you will get only just 4 or 5 files. Only that 4 or 5 files only will be uploaded into server. It is enough for running. So anyways, now, okay, it will take some time to install these packages. We need not wait for this. And already we have installed Visual Studio Code window, right? Before a moment. So just we have to open it. We have to open Visual Studio Code window. So go to Start. Okay, Visual Studio Code, this one. Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio Code. Once we click on this, see it has opened the Visual Studio Code window. Also, we require to open the browser. Open the browser. You can use any browser like Firefox, Chrome, anything else. Browser not any problem. Okay, we have opened the Visual Studio Code window. Here we have to open that application. I mean this one. This app one we have to open there. How to open? Go to Visual Studio Code file menu, open folder. Understand? Open folder. Here we have to select which location C colon where our application is present. Check it. Practice, right? Practice. In that which folder? App one. So we have to select the app one. C colon practice app one we have to select. Don't select only practice. Select app one in the practice. Once you have selected app one like this, then click on select folder. So once we have opened this, okay, it is showing the same folder structure. What it was showing here, same file names, it will show here. If you click on SRC, it is showing some files. If you click on app, it will show some files like that. Okay. Now, the actual files that you have to edit is app.module.ts, app.component.ts, okay, app.component.html. These three files we have to mainly work with. But don't worry about all these remaining files. I will explain about this about the remaining files, the flow of execution. I will explain about the building blocks like components, modules, okay, services, etc. later. Just for basic execution, basic example purpose, we have to mainly edit three files. What are they? app.module.ts, app.component.ts, app.component.html. First, I will show a practical example. So first, you should understand practically what is the how to create the component, how to execute it very practically. By example, we should understand. Once you understand the component, okay, then you can I will explain about the theory behind it. What is module, what is service, okay, what is the packages, okay. So everything I will tell in detail later. Okay, don't much confuse in the first day. So today I want to give which one? Practical overview of the Angular. So listen, in the app.module.ts, we have to add one statement called import forms module from which package? Angular/forms package. We are importing which one? Forms module from which package? Angular/forms package. And also we have to import it here. Anyway, the each and every theoretical point behind this I will explain later. I mean, what is this Angular/forms package? What is the forms module and why we have to use it? Why we are writing in these imports? Even these declarations, providers, bootstrap, everything I will tell later. Don't much worry. As of today, we are in the first introduction level itself. Okay, but as to execute this application, this statement is compulsory. We're importing forms module from this package, and we have to import it in the app module. After the browser module only we should write this. Remember, first browser module, then only forms module. Okay. So that is a code for app.module.ts. After that, go to app.component.ts. Here we have to declare the properties and methods both. Properties are used to store the input data plus output data. Methods are for manipulations. I told login form example, right? I will show the login form practically. In the login form, how many properties require? Two input values, that is username, what data type? String data type. Password is what data type? String data type. First we have to provide the property name followed by data type. Colon must be used in the middle. It's a syntax, property colon data type. So first of all, it's a class. Okay, this is the class. Inside this, we are going to create properties. Properties are like variables to store the data. Next, so we are accepting username and password. We have to show output also, right? Anyone output. Message we have to show output or not. Either successful login or invalid login. So message we have to declare as a property. That's all. And there is a login button, OK button. When the user clicks on OK button, we have to check the username password correct or not. Okay. In order to do that, we have to go for a method on login click. When the user clicks on this login button, okay, we are going to no, first I will show an example, screen, so that you can understand easily. So login, username, password, login button is there, and below we are expecting some message, either successful login or invalid login. Any one message only should come, not both. Either of these messages. Okay. Okay, this is the actual requirement what you have. In this requirement, what is input data that you are accepting from user? Okay, input data is username and password, right? So we have to take a class, some component class. In the component, what are the properties we have to take? Username property, which data type? String data type. Okay, password property, string data type. And when the user clicks on login button here, we are going to execute some method like on login click. It's a preferable naming convention. Like what is the button name? Login. That's why we are going to give on login click. Suppose the button name is registered. So on login, on register click. Suppose button name is OK. So then on OK click. Okay, it's a naming convention. Next, here we can write the code for checking. We have to check the username password correct or not, right? That code you have to keep here. And also here, successful login and invalid login, any one message should come, right? So that should be displayed as a message property. And the property and method order can be anything. Order doesn't matter here. Okay, don't mind the orders. Now, this text box must be binded or connected to which property? Username property, right? That means what? Whenever we have opened some value in the username text box, for example, Scott, this value automatically appear in the username property. Automatically, username property will be updated. Whatever we have typed in the text box, the same will be updated in the username property. Whatever we have typed in the password text box, that will be updated in the password property. Immediately, that is taken care by the Angular framework. We need not be responsible for that. Just we have to give the connection between them. Automatically, when the user has really modified the text box value, it will automatically update to the corresponding property. Then in the particular button, we have to call a method. So in this method, we need not again get the value from text box. Already text box value is the latest value is available in the username property, right? Password property, right? We have to check those properties enough. Okay, we need not get the value from the text box again in the method. So based on the coding, we can update the value in the message property. Suppose message equal to success or invalid. Any one message will update in the code. That message value automatically update here. This updation also automatically done by Angular framework. So in between this design logic to the component, automatically the updations will be taken care by Angular. Understanding? Text box value updated in the username property. Password text box value should be updated in the password property. Message value should be updated back to the output. So this user interface to the component updation is automatically done by Angular. That's what the duty of Angular actually. But our responsibility, which are the input values that you are accepting from the user, which are the output value that you are displaying to user, should be created as a properties, compulsory. Which are the operations you want to perform, like condition checking or calculation, anything, that we have to create as a method and call them in the buttons. That is our responsibility. That's it. This is the main intention of the Angular framework. You develop a number of real-time examples, the same approach repeats. Okay, let me show the same practically in our example. So here, assume the correct username is admin and the correct password is manager. Okay, we have to check it. If this dot username we should write. This keyword compulsory to represent current object. When we execute the program, automatically it is going to create object for this app component class to represent current object. This keyword is compulsory. Okay, anyway, I will explain more details about this export keyword, style URLs, template URL, selector, component, everything I will tell later one by one. Okay, my intention first you should understand very practically how to work with Angular framework. Then slowly you can concentrate on the theoretical concepts. Okay, first listen. So username is equal to Scott, admin, and password equal to manager. Okay, just we are assuming some correct username, correct password. Actually, in real time, we have to check with the database data. We can connect to database data by using Ajax. Okay, anyway, presently I'm not doing all those things. I will tell that later. Ajax services. Okay, I will tell later. So in the basic application, we are doing like a fixed username, fixed password. So if the username equal to admin and password equal to manager, then what we have to do? This dot message is equal to, what is the message? Successful login. Okay, else otherwise invalid login. Either of these messages only will be assigned into message property. That's all. Next. So this coding of app component is over. Component coding is done. Component means the class with properties and methods. Now app.component.html. By the way, where all these files are available, notice in the src app. By default, it is showing like this. We have to expand src. Okay, then we have to expand app. Then only the files are visible. app.module.ts, app.component.ts, app.component.html. These three files you have to work with. In the app.module.ts, import forms module from angular/forms. Forms module we have to add. Meaning and details I will tell later. In the component, we have to create the properties and we have to create the methods. As I've explained already, input and output details are nothing but properties. Process is nothing but methods. Now last and final is app.component.html. So already it contains some lot of HTML code. We have to delete it. We don't want that. Our HTML code is required. So I think you already know some basics of HTML. So basic tags, heading tags, paragraph tags, input tag, etc. So login. And anyway, if you want to execute this, what we have to do, come back to command prompt window in order to compile and execute. I'm writing the notes here. Create a new Angular application means in the command prompt window, we have to give cd that folder. Which folder? Practice folder. Or any other folder. Practice time, you can give any other folder name of your choice. It doesn't matter. ng new app1. Okay, this is for creating. We have seen that already. In order to compile and execute the application, in order to compile and run the Angular application, we have to give cd equivalent practice app1. Now we are inside which location? App1 location. Here we have to give the command ng-serve. Understand? ng-serve command will compile and run. Check it. We have to give cd equivalent practice app1. We are in the which location now? App1. Okay. ng-serve command we have to give. What this ng-serve command will do? Compile and run. So it will take around 1 or 2 minutes to compile and run. Once this compilation process done, it will automatically make the Angular live development server ready. Means Angular application must be run through localhost. See, if you create a basic HTML file, suppose some index.html, we can directly double click on HTML file, we can execute it in the browser. But doing like that in Angular is not possible. We must run the application through localhost. In order to run the application through localhost, we have to give ng-serve command. So ng-serve command will compile plus start the Angular live development server, which is needed to run Angular application through localhost. Now we can see some files, main.js, polyfills.js, some files. See, we have lots of files. Really, we have lots of files in this location, right? But all these files, the compiled version is just 5 files. Only these 5 files are enough to copy into any location. They will work individually. Okay. Anyway, so I will show that later, how to integrate this Angular application into a Java program or .NET program. I will show that later. So anyway, so come back. So here, locally, how to execute this application? Localhost 4200 in the browser. Open any browser, Firefox, Chrome, or any other browser of your choice. Localhost 4200, except IE678. Okay, now we can see login, because just we have given only heading login. Okay, and one fortunate thing is that if you make any modification, for example, welcome, something we have added, the moment once we save, automatically this ng-serve command will detect the changes. Okay, it will recompile the essential files. We have modified the code means main.js automatically updated. As main.js updated, automatically page will refresh in the browser. Understanding? The moment once we modified the file, and the moment once we save it, automatically here recompilation occurs and the page will refresh. Understand now? So in the developer life, what happens in a typical 8 hours of working, n number of times you will modify the file, n number of times automatically page will refresh. Okay, a lot of time will be saved with this, right? Anyway, so here what is required is form is required, because we are developing a form. Username, a text box. We have a text box, means input type equal text, but this text box must be binded or connected to which property? In the concept, you can understand this text box value should be automatically updated in which property? Username property, right? Correct. So we have to give square brackets first, then round brackets. ng model we have to provide. Square brackets with the round brackets. Square brackets at the outer level, round brackets at the inner level. Each and every brackets is having its own meaning. Square brackets different, round brackets different, braces different. The meaning of these brackets also will tell later. When to use the square brackets, when to use round brackets, when to use double curly braces, I will tell later. But as of now, in order to bind this text box to the particular username property, we have to provide square brackets with round brackets. ng model we have to provide. ng model is a predefined property to specify two-way binding. Two-way binding means text box value will be updated into username property. Username property value will be updated into text box, both ways. To create the two-way binding, ng model is required. Here we have to specify the name of the property. Now it's like a connection established. So anytime when you modify the text box value, automatically this username property gets updated internally. So for example, we have typed something in the text box, suppose ABC. This ABC value automatically updated in the username property. Now latest value username equal to ABC. We can believe that. It is a responsibility of the Angular to update the value of the text box to the property and vice versa. Our duty is already done. ng model equal to username. That's it. One time we will give ng model. N number of times user may give any value. At any point of time, user has given any value. This value automatically gets updated in the corresponding username property. It's like for example, there is electrician responsibility creating a connection between the switch and bulb. So n number of times in a life, n number of times we may press the switch, bulb is on. Countless number of times, right? So electrician will connect the switch and bulb only one time, but n number of times we may press the switch, bulb is on. So it is like that. ng model we have to give only one time, but automatically any point of time the text box value is modified like this. This value automatically gets updated in the corresponding property in the username. Okay, we have typed something, automatically this value updated in the username property. Same like this. We have to give one more thing, name. Name can be anything. Name, we are not calling the element with the name, but internally it will call based on name. Name can be anything other than the property name. Okay, we are not using the name anywhere, but internally it will be used. Okay, so we have successfully created username and password text boxes. So suppose we have typed ABC123. This ABC very immediately updated into username property. This ABC123 immediately updated into password property. Now latest value of username is ABC. Initially empty only, but the moment once the user type the value, automatically this text box value updated in which property? Username property. Okay. Same like this ABC123 gets updated in the password property. Okay. Next, we have to create the button, right? Input type equal to button, value equal to login. When the user clicks on this, we are going to execute which method? This method. So the round brackets is meant for events. Listen, round brackets is meant for events. In JavaScript, we have events like click event, debug click event, focus, blur, key press, key up, different events available, right? For the events, we have to use round brackets. And here we have to give the actual method name which you want to execute. That means overall meaning is when the user clicks on this particular button, we are going to execute this particular method. Okay. Okay, I think we are getting, yeah. So, and in the button click, it will call this method. And here, after checking the username and password, if it is successful, we are updating success message in the message. Otherwise, invalid message in the message property, right? This message property should be shown to the user. To show output to user, we have to use double curly braces. Remember, to give data binding to the text box, we have to give square brackets with round brackets. Square brackets at the outer level, round brackets with the inner level. In order to create any events like click event, focus event, different JavaScript events available, right? For any event, we have to use round brackets. To display output to user, we have to use double curly braces. These are the meaning of the brackets. Now we can check. See, I'm just typing ABC, ABC123. Immediately, very immediately, ABC gets updated in which property? Username property. How the system know that it should be updated in username property only? Because we have given here ng model equal to username means what? This ABC value should be updated into which property? Username property. This ABC123 value should be updated in which property? password property. That's what the meaning of ng model. We are telling the connection between them. Just like electrician sets the connection between the switch and bulb through wire, we are connecting the relation between the text box and the property by using ng model. Okay, ng model is a wire here. Okay, now when we click on the button, it is really executing this function. As a result of this function, the condition is false, right? I mean, username equal to admin and password equal manager, condition is wrong. Okay, condition wrong means it will go to else case and it has updated invalid login in the message. Immediately this message automatically displayed in this place. Why it will display here? Because we have given double curly braces. So that's what I'm saying. We have to use round brackets with square brackets with round brackets for two-way binding in the text box. Round brackets for event. To display the output of a property, we have to give double curly braces. Here, if you give some admin and manager, then we are getting successful login. That's fine. Okay, our application is working fine. And here the requirement is, I want to display green color if it is successful, red color if it is invalid. Color also I want to update dynamically. To store the color name, again we require one more property. Okay, so one more property is required. See, whichever the dynamically decided values are there, whichever the values that you want to show to the output, whichever the input values that you're taking from user, everything should be created as a property only. Here, message color, one more property we have created, message color. These property names can be anything. Method names also can be anything. Okay, message color. So here, if it is true, what should be happen? Message color equal to green. Otherwise, red. That's all. But still, our output is not updating. Check it. It's not updating any color. So we have to update this color. Message color should be given here, right? How to give? First, we have to convert this into a span tag or label tag, anything. Here we have to give style dot. Style means CSS. Style means CSS. Which property you want to update? Color property. Do you know in CSS we have several properties like border, padding, margin, okay, font size, background image, background color, any property we can use here. That's equal to which property value you want to read. You want to read the value from which property? Message color property. Okay, message color. That's all. So now notice we are using square brackets. Yes, square brackets must be used if you want to assign a value into an attribute, like style attribute, for example. Okay, so we have used square brackets with round brackets combination for text boxes. Only round brackets we have used for event, click event or any other event. We have used only square brackets for assigning a value into an attribute, such as a style attribute, for example. And in HTML, we have several other attributes, right? Suppose we have max length attribute, value attribute, different attributes available in HTML. Already, I think you know. For assigning value into any attribute, we have to use the square brackets only. And if you want to display the actual value to user, we have to use double curly braces. Okay, this is all about the brackets and braces. Now, overall, you can check. We are giving some wrong username, wrong password. We are getting invalid login in which color? Red color. That's correct. Plus, if we are typing admin and manager and click on login button, we are getting successful login. So this is a very basic application. So I will tell the details later. What is module? What is the packages? Okay, and what is this services, directives, and everything I will tell later. Plus this declaration, imports, providers, bootstrap, how to create multiple components and how to call in one main component, even this package.json. So all the remaining details I will tell later. Okay, don't much confuse. So as per this basic program, any doubts you have?
Yes, I have little doubt. Hello.
Yeah, tell me.
What is meaning of cross-platform?
Cross-platform means Angular application will run on any operating system. We are able to open the website in any operating system, it works. That is cross-platform.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
No, I have. And you first uninstall Node.js, right? So we have to manually uninstall Node.js, or for it is some command.
In my system, already Node.js installed.
Yeah, I know, but if I have a same situation in future, so I have to manually uninstall in Node.js, or there is some command for uninstall Node.js.
No command, we have to manual and uninstall only.
Okay. And what is the use of form module? Can you describe in future later?
Yeah, later I will tell forms module, packages, modules, everything I will tell later.
Okay. And in Angular JavaScript, there is no page refresh. So the page will be displayed very fast.
I did not get which one.
Uh, in Angular JavaScript, the page will does not. There is no page refresh. Is it? No page
Automatically,
refresh.
if you modify the program in AngularJS, we have to refresh the page manually to see the updated output. But in Angular, it's a advantage. It's automatically refreshing the page so that we can see the updated output.
Okay. Okay. And what is ng model? Ng model is specifically used for two-way data binding.
Yes, ng model is a predefined directive to create the two-way binding.
Okay, it's a directive, inbuilt directive for Angular. Is it?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
And double curly braces is a string interpolation which is used for output display.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
Okay. And the event two-way data binding out string interpolation and attribute you will teach you in detail everything.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that's all for today, and tomorrow we'll take the class at 8 p.m.
Okay. And after every session, you will give some exercise or anything.
Yeah, we'll go later on.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
So tomorrow the class will be 8 p.m. IST, but it may be 6:30, I think, in what time?
Which time? Can you repeat again, please?
8 p.m. IST.
8 p.m. IST. Okay. Okay, I will talk with Mohammed. No problem.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye bye.